The Eliphaz Trap, Job's Friends, and Flying Monkeys. This episode is crucial because it validates the specific pain of betrayal trauma, when the people who are supposed to support the victim instead blame them. In the red pill narcissism community, we call them flying monkeys, enablers who do the abuser's dirty work. In the Bible, they are Job's friends. Eliphaz is the most dangerous type because he uses spiritual gaslighting. He claims to have a word from God to prove that Job is secretly a sinner. 1. High-stakes packaging title option. A. The reveal. The Eliphaz Trap, when godly friends are flying monkeys. Title option B. Psychological. Spiritual gaslighting, exposing the God told me manipulation. Thumbnail, visual, Job sitting in ashes, looking up at 3 looming figures. The lead figure, Eliphaz, has a hand on Job's shoulder, but his shadow on the wall is a puppet or a wolf. Text, friend or spy, or the accuser. Script, the Eliphaz Trap, the hook, the double wound. Visual, host looks intense, darker lighting, statistical graphic on screen. Did you know that studies on trauma show that betrayal blindness, when a victim is attacked by the people they trusted to help them, causes more long-term PTSD than the abuse itself? It's the double wound. The first wound is the narcissist hurting you. The second wound is your community blaming you for it. In the narcissistic abuse community, we call these people flying monkeys. They are the enablers, the ones who say, "But he's such a nice guy," or "Maybe you're just too sensitive." In the Bible, they have a name too. They are Job's friends, specifically a man named Eliphaz. Eliphaz didn't attack Job with a sword. He attacked him with theology. He used God talk to gaslight a suffering man into believing his abuse was his own fault. If you have ever been told that your suffering is God's discipline or that you attracted your abuser, you have been caught in the Eliphaz trap. Today, we are dismantling the most sophisticated form of spiritual manipulation there is. Phase 1. The pivot, the fake empathy. Visual, text on screen. Job 437. The trap. Eliphaz starts out smooth. This is why he is dangerous. He sits with Job in silence for 7 days. He looks like a supportive friend, but then he opens his mouth in Job 4. Think how you have instructed many, but now trouble comes to you, and you are discouraged. He starts with a compliment, then twists the knife. Then he drops the bomb in verse 7. Consider now, who being innocent has ever perished? This is the just world hypothesis. It is a cognitive bias that says, good things happen to good people, and bad things happen to bad people. Eliphaz is saying, Job, you are suffering, therefore you must be a sinner. God doesn't punish innocent people. This is victim blaming 101. The flying monkey protects their own worldview by sacrificing you. If they admit you are innocent, they have to admit the world is scary and unfair. So instead, they decide you must be guilty. Phase 2. The spirit, spiritual gaslighting. Visual, text on screen. Job 412, the secret revelation. Audio. Now, Eliphaz pulls his trump card. He claims supernatural authority. This is the ultimate weapon of the religious narcissist. In verse 12, he gets spooky. A word was secretly brought to me. A spirit glided past my face. He claims he had a vision. A spirit told him that no man is pure before God. He uses this private revelation to shut Job up. How can Job argue with a vision? How can you argue with someone who says, God told me you have a spirit of rebellion? This is spiritual gaslighting. They use unverifiable spiritual experiences to invalidate your lived reality. I prayed about it, and God said, you need to forgive him. I had a dream that you were causing division. Eliphaz isn't speaking for God here. He is projecting his own judgment and slapping God's name on it to make it bulletproof. Phase 3. The personal story, when help hurts. Visual, host sits down. Personal, vulnerable tone. I want to share something personal. When I first tried to escape a toxic environment, I went to a mentor, someone I respected deeply. I poured my heart out. I told them about the lies, the manipulation, the fear. They looked me in the eye and said, well, you know, we reap what we sow. Are you sure you haven't opened a door to the enemy with your own pride? I walked out of that coffee shop feeling like I was losing my mind. I wasn't just fighting the abuser anymore. Now I was fighting God, or so I thought. It took me years to realize that wasn't God talking, that was Eliphaz. God eventually shows up in Job 42:7 and speaks to Eliphaz. He says, I am angry with you, for you have not spoken the truth about me. God defended Job. If your friends are acting like Eliphaz, they aren't speaking for God. They are speaking for their own comfort. End. The rallying cry. Visual. Host stands up. Strong, defiant energy. You need to audit your circle today. Who is sitting in your ashes? Are they bringing you water, or are they bringing you accusations? You cannot heal if you are surrounded by flying monkeys who are more loyal to the narcissist's narrative than to the truth. It is time to fire your friends. I want to start a challenge in the comments. We are breaking the agreement with false guilt today. If you are done accepting blame for someone else's sin, I want you to type, "No flying monkeys." And if you're brave enough, add one sentence, "I am returning the shame to its owner." Do not let Eliphaz write your theology. I'm OT. This is Tales from a Backslider. Viral Shorts Strategy. The just world fallacy. The most toxic lie in religion is that everything happens for a reason. Tell that to Job. His friends told him, "Innocent people don't suffer, so you must have sinned." That is victim blaming, wrapped in Bible verses. Sometimes bad things happen because bad people do them. Stop letting people gaslight you into thinking your abuse is your fault. The God told me trap. Watch out for people who use "God told me" to control you. In the Bible, Eliphaz told Job, "A spirit visited me and told me you're wrong." That is spiritual gaslighting. If someone's revelation contradicts your reality and destroys your character, that is not the Holy Spirit. That is a flying monkey.